Thank you very much, temporary chair. But it's been an honor to work with you on so many issues that we care about in this space, including type 1 diabetes in particular. Doctor, I appreciated hearing your comments this morning. Americans have relied on the FDA for more than a century to ensure that their medicines are both safe and effective. Recognizing that America biotech leads the world in innovation, we in Congress have taken a number of actions to ensure that FDA's rigorous regulatory review keeps pace with the speed of science and solves problems in areas where we don't have cures or effective treatments or a means of prevention. Recent staffing changes at the FDA appear to have affected the balance between innovation and regulatory review from what I'm hearing. I'm particularly concerned about the downstream impact of delays on patients suffering from debilitating rare diseases like ataxia and Barth syndrome, as well as more common terrible diseases like ALS, which you mentioned, Alzheimer's, and other neurodegenerative diseases. As I mentioned, Senator Sheehan and I'm sorry, I'm out of it today, apparently. Dr. We have worked together on type 1 diabetes for many years. We're encouraged by what's going on in stem therapy and immunotherapy in that area. And today, you yourself talked about the need for more efficient regulatory pathways and innovative treatments for rare life-threatening diseases, particularly when there are no major safety issues and existing treatments are either don't exist or they're limited. So what I'm hearing is there's a real slowdown at FDA. And that's not what you were committing to today, but that's what I'm hearing the reality is. There are a number of rare disease, new drug applications that have been pending at FDA for some time. What specifically is FDA doing under your leadership to accelerate getting new treatments for rare diseases to patients safely and as soon as possible, particularly since we have developed these accelerated pathways, particularly for those patients for which there are no treatment options now?
Senator Collins, good to see you, Senator Collins. I share in your interest in this topic because I have cared for people with rare diseases and rare cancers, and it is the worst feeling in the world to have to break bad news. And when people say, is there anything out there to not have anything to respond with, is a very difficult position. So we need to customize the regulatory process to the condition being treated. And so if it is a rare condition, we have to drop our randomized control trial requirements in some instances. I will say, however, that the trains are running on time at the FDA. There have been no staffing changes that have changed any approval schedules. We are on track to meet all of our PDUFA targets. There are, on occasion, every year, essentially every year, a couple drugs that are very complex where the career scientists ask for more time, either to convene an advisory committee to weigh in or to design a very unique, specific randomized trial. So in reference to one of the products that you had mentioned, I had gotten briefed and was assured that there was no delays related to staffing. These were additional time because of the complexity of the early data, and the staff truly believed, career scientists truly believed they needed a few more weeks. And I thought, we're on track to meet our PDUFA targets. They believe we're completely on track to meet our PDUFA targets if they took a few more weeks, and I thought that was reasonable. The trains are running on time. The food inspectors are doing their job. We have 12 food labs. There's no backlog at the food labs. The cuts that you referenced and Senator Shaheen referenced were to things like this. 2,600, this is at the FDA, 2,600 HR staff, contract staff, and budget staff. Now, I think that's too much, and they were part of the reduction in force. In total, about 1,800, almost 1,900 people were involved in the reduction in force, and I think a lot of that is consolidation. Just to be clear, there were no reductions in scientific reviewers as a part of the reduction in force. And we're actually hiring scientists because there's normally turnover with our scientific staff. And I hope the AI and the other tools will help make their jobs more efficient.
Well, I am hearing something entirely different, so I will convey directly to you the concerns that I'm hearing since Dr. Peter Marks was removed from his position. And it is disheartening for patients with serious diseases, as you know very, very well from your clinical practice, for which I know you are a dedicated physician, but it is disheartening when it appears that a new treatment or drug is on the horizon, and then FDA says, no, we need 3 more months. We need 3 more months. We need 3 more months, over and over again, despite the years that have gone into developing a particular treatment for an illness that has no treatment. And again, that's why we work so hard to establish these accelerated pathways. So I'll be in further touch with you. I don't disagree with the need to look at the staffing of FDA and to make sure that as much of it as possible is going into the process that speeds food inspection, new drugs to the American people, sensible regulation and guidance on diet, lifestyle factors. All of that is extremely important. So it's not that I object to looking at that, but I don't want it to come at the expense of drugs that are desperately needed. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. I will just say that the scientist replacing Peter Marks is outstanding, and I would say take a close look at his credentials. He has published over 540 peer-reviewed scientific articles. He's a professor from UCSF, trained at the National Cancer Institute. He's a scientific genius. So I've rejected the idea that there's only one scientist in the world that can run CBER well, and I think we need fresh new ideas. The new scientist replacing Peter Marks is 42-year-old. He brings a fresh new perspective, and it will not change our approach to rare diseases or the predictability that people need in the market and development investment space to know that they need to continue to invest in those technologies.
I look forward to meeting him. Thank you.
Thank you.